Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. How are you? Hello, hello. Hello. What's up? What's up? How you doing? Woo. What a long day. Give me a second. Okay, something's going on. Hello, hello. How are you? Welcome. How you doing today? Hope everyone is having a good day. How y'all doing today? Welcome to Live Open Conversation. Your host, Antonio. It's a pleasure to be here today once again with my live show. It's actually very interesting as weeks goes by. Hello, how are you? As weeks goes by, how it becomes more interesting and the more the adrenaline in my body wants to continue doing what I'm doing. You know, there is a message in my heart that continues to tell me that this is what I'm here for, to give some sort of hope and open up some things that people don't even really want to talk about. And, you know, that's what I'm here as every week, committed to you guys to come and give you the best live show that is to me is most important to give you a live show that's amazing, first of all. You know, so I'm thank you for you guys. This has been a wonderful experience for the last 9-10 weeks. Hello, how are you, everyone? I know everyone is coming in. I am live today through Instagram and Facebook. Hello, Facebook friends. I know you can see me, but unfortunately, I'm sorry I cannot see you guys. I do have a little malfunction with the camera in the front for I can be able to see you guys. But I will be able to answer those questions, whatever questions you have, once I post it up on Facebook. And you know, my Instagram friends, thank you once again as well for your support and always, you know, here on my live show every week. Today is very interesting. We are talking about missing children, abduction, and kidnap. Hello, how are you? You know I hold off this whole entire week with these topics was just because I wanted to just leave it for the last to make it more interesting for you guys. You know, the more you wait, the more it becomes that adrenaline, that feeling that you want to have. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I was holding off on some of those. Hello, Pink Lady. How are you? Hello, Miss Kim. How are you? Hello, everyone. I know everyone is still coming in. You know, welcome to the live show, Open Conversation. Your host, Antonio. It's been a pleasure to be on your on this live show every week, committed to you guys. You know, thank you to you guys. You continue to send me some great topics, some great things to talk about. And the more you send, the more I'm going to continue talking. So, you know, that's the fun part about it. And, you know, and today what we're talking about is missing children. And as well, abduction, and kidnapping. Hello, everyone. I know everyone is still coming in. Hello. I know I have some stuff here that I would like to read. You know, it's kind of interesting with some of the stuff that's happening in this world. You know, I know I'm ready too. I'm ready to get into this topic real good. You know, I'm actually excited about this topic. You know, missing children. You know, so many things is happening every day, as you know, as days goes by. You know, a lot of things is happening, but this is an important topic for me because of the simple fact that I've been through a lot of the social media lately. You know, and throughout the years, this has been a cause. You know, this has been interesting to me of why and how. this is happening in our communities. This is happening to our family members. So I just want to educate a little bit about these things that takes place actually in real life. That people sometimes think that they're not aware but should be aware of it. you know and at the end of the day, we need to educate our children. We need to educate ourselves. We need to make sure that we are on top of our ball game, making sure that these things, are not happening to one of our children or to one of our family members or anyone else in general, like friends and, associates, co-workers, so I'm here with this great topic. So, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to just throw in your questions out. I'm more than happy to read it, pause a moment and read through the questions and everything like that. So let's get going. Missing children. The term missing children is defined as children whose whereabouts are unknown to their parents, guardian, or legal custodian. Oh, wait, I'm having a little difficulties here with some of my wording. Somebody help me. Custody. I'm gonna say custody, but it says custodian. Anyways, I'm gonna say the legal the legal guardian of the child. I'm gonna say it in that format because. Woo! I got a little tongue twisted there. Sorry. I'm Puerto Rican and my Spanish tangles in my English. I don't know how, but it plays a big role in how I speak. So, sorry about that. First of all, there's a lot of things that's happening as time go by, and and I've been reading a lot on social media with the things that are happening, the missing children. Every day there's a missing child out here in our country being missed, and we're not taking action of making it better for our kids to be able to play outside or to go over to a friend's house. Nowadays we don't trust everybody. We're not on the same page. It's kind of complicated that everyone has found a departure somewhere down the line, and as days go by, worse the situation is gonna get. Why we're not coming together to make things better for us and for our children, for the generation that comes after that. So we are having more and more missing children. And right now, I know all these have a combination and it has a tangled, it's tied together somehow, some way. But, kidnap is take someone away illegally by force, typically obtain a ransom. This is true. Someone that's being kidnapped. I completely understand, Mel. I will be afraid, hysterical, like, to even let my children go outside. And it's sad, because as growing up, I remember playing outside. I remember riding bikes. I remember skating, playing ball, football, tag, you name it, we played it, And nowadays, it's like we have to keep our children in our homes because we really don't trust or don't believe anybody anymore because of so many things that is happening and so many things is being caused. And with an instant blink of your eye, your kid just disappeared. It becomes a missing child. And nowadays you have to wait, 24 hours to report a child that's missing or something like that? So it becomes, the process become even longer, and you're expecting some sort of hope, willing for this child to come home, and you don't even know if this child is ever gonna come home, and it does get kind of nerve-wracking because, someone that's being kidnapped, it happens in many places. It happens in public. It happens with even your own family kidnaps your children. And at the end of the day, we need to always make sure that we are educating ourselves and we are educating our children in regards of these things that's happening in the world. I know sometimes parents are telling me, I don't want to tell them, I don't want to speak about that, that's not important, let them be kids. But you know what, mamacita? You get to a point, they get to a certain age in life that I think is reasonable for you to sit down and speak about these things to your children. So, have them be aware what are the protocols that you need to do if someone is being kidnapped. Why we're having repeatedly more and more missing children, why our parents are not, and it's true, yeah, raising kids should be done old school style. I completely agree. A little ass whooping once in a while, I really do believe that a kid do need. I'm not saying abuse them, but hello, like a little smack on the hand. Sometimes, certain kids needs it, and it makes it very complicated, for everyone in the world to get along because everybody raised their kids so differently. And back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s, it was totally different. It was totally different. My mother would whip my behind if I did something stupid like that. Yes, it did work for me too. I'll tell you that right now. Hell yes, kids nowadays need that shit. I completely understand. It's so different from when we grew up to now. People are evil. I completely understand. Back in the day was totally different. I remember us knowing our neighbors. We knew our neighbors. Our neighbors would call our parents like, excuse me, Ms. Roman, you know that your son is so-and-so, cut school, did this, They will call your mother and your father like, hello, you got to get out of work because you got to go pick up your kids because someone is holding them there, and protecting each other's kids. Nowadays, you don't really see that. It's kind of complicated of what's happening nowadays, and as things, hi Angie, I love you too. I know that as days goes by, we need to be aware and educating our children of what these things is happening. Kids be too damn grown nowadays. Yes, way too many kids. You don't have to wait 24 hours to report a missing person. That is, thank you for letting me know. For those that don't know, you don't have to wait 24 hours to report a missing person. Thank you for that as well. My mom would tell me neighbors beat his ass if he acts up. My mother was the same way. For those, 24 hours, to report a missing person, you don't have to wait for that. That was just me just saying that because, technically I'm not educated and, I'm just trying to cross the message and hopefully everyone that is part of the conversation will help me along as well, because this is what my live show is about, is having an open conversation and having everyone involved in the conversation. And I do appreciate you telling me that because now I'm aware. We don't have to wait 24 hours to report someone that's missing. Well, back in the day, I think it was like some type of thing like that. But anyways, you don't have to wait. And they do say that 99% of the time it's a friend or relative who the kids is with, and that's scary. You can't trust no one. At the end of the day, our world is becoming cold. It's becoming cruel. And we don't start protecting ourselves and our children, it's going to get worse. Because at the end of the day, we are eliminating a lot of the things that we should be aware of and doing. And playing a big role. Nowadays there's no love within nobody. There's just so much hatred. People have something negative to say. Back in the day, people would be so encouraging. But even back in the day, they had their issues and their problems. And that's why where we at today started from back in the day. Some of us wasn't aware of the things was happening, but, we are now aware of it. So... I'm in love with this topic right now. This is a really interesting topic to me, and I see this every day throughout social media. How many people is posting something of a missing child, to please repost 50 million times. You repost it, and this child don't even appear to be nowhere. You know, with so many people, so many thousands and millions of people that repost something on social media, and this person doesn't even appear to come back. You know, so it is kind of sad when it comes down to missing children. You know, that we are not being, you know, as parents and as adults, we're not working as a community. We're not working together to make things better for the environment of our children and for the, you know, for the environment of others, you know. So nowadays, you hit your child, they want to call what DYFS, the Division of Youth and Family Services type thing, you know. And I know in every state, in every country, is something different, but you know, I do believe in, you know, not beating up your children, but, you know, giving them a little ass whooping, you know, to get that little shit down, you know. So at the end of the day, you know, we need to start educating ourselves and educating our children in regards of what can happen if something was to happen. You know, I know last week I was talking about gun laws and stuff like that. We need to educate our children about that too. So, you know, same thing goes down for this. You know, as much as you want to protect them, you know, by you protecting them is by you making them aware of what's actually taking place in this world. So, you know, we as people need to make sure that we are being clear with our kids and with society itself, you know, because you never know what can take place. And, you know, you want your child to be, you know, be equipped to be able to protect themselves and in a situation like this, you know, being kidnapped or, you know, becoming a missing child, you know, because kidnap is the same as, you know, becoming a missing child. So, you know, and here I have abduction is the action or an instance of forcibly taking someone away against their will. You know, this is another one. Kidnap and abduction is very similar to each other. It talks about almost the same, have somewhat of the same term. It's interesting how this plays. You know, an abduction can happen anywhere. It can happen in the park. It can happen in front of your home. It can happen a family member can abduct your child. You know, someone that kidnaps. First of all, someone that kidnaps is someone that has the intentions of hurting this person. That's a kidnap. You know, when someone is basically wanting to kidnap, they have the intentions of wanting to do, you know, hurt the child within the process of their of the kidnap. You know, abduction is basically someone being abducted by someone, taking them to maybe a facility or something, keeping them like a hostage type thing, you know, and they want money or, you know, so that's an abduction, you know. A lot of people have a misunderstanding when it comes down to kidnapping and abduction, you know, because some of us is not well educated, as myself, you know, because I speak on behalf of myself as well, you know, but this is why we're here as a community, to be able to get well educated on the things that we need to be educated on, you know. So it just makes it more interesting. You know, abduction, nearly 800,000 children are reported missing each year. That's more than 2,000 a day. And this is in America. That's the funny part. This is actually in America. You know, there is a lot of children being abducted, you know, in America. It's kind of nerve-wracking. It becomes scary at point, you know. And, you know, it's sad that, you know, you go through social media, you don't really know what's real, what's fake, what's, you know. So many people, you know, I know that I like to post a lot of stuff, but, you know, just like everyone else, you know, that's why you have your own page and you can post whatever you like and whatever you desire to put on your social media walls, you know. So at the end of the day, everyone is entitled to say and do whatever they want and whatever they feel in their heart. But at the end of the day, That topic is coming. Trafficking. That is a very good. That's a really good topic. I actually was gonna include it in this week's topic, but trafficking. It's is a topic itself. Because trafficking. Yes, they could sell your children to other people. And your kids become slave in other countries and other places, and you will never get to see your child because they're totally in a different place. And yes, there's ways to get them to where they need to be, get to. So at the end of the day, yes, that is a really good topic. I that's under another topic that I have, but trafficking is real big thing that's coming in next. One of my live shows in the next couple weeks. Um, you know, I just have to say that we as people need to be aware. We need to educate ourselves and our children of just in case if something was to happen, what they need to do, what are the protocols, that you have to give, you have to do, and, in a situation like this. I believe that if a child is being kidnapped or being abducted by someone or something, nowadays, I don't know, because they keep talking about all these UFOs and all this other crap that's happening in this world. I don't even know what to believe anymore. I don't even know if I believe I'm still alive, because of so many things that's happening in this world. So there is we live a life, I don't know, within a lie, I think it is, I'm going to say. But anyhow, we have to educate ourselves, let your kids, know what's taking place, what's happening. I'm not saying to open their mind completely, but, implant something that's going to secure them from anything happening to them. If you remember that us as parents, we're not around our children all the time. So, we can't say that we're going to protect them 100% as much as we do protect our children for about 100% or more. We still can't, we have to find ways and how our children can understand and be aware about these things, And I think as a parent, you will know exactly when is an appropriate age for your child to know of these things that's happening, Because at the end of the day, remember, they're going to hear it in school. They're going to hear it in the radio. They're going to hear it in the news. They're going to hear it all over the place because now everything is about, let's expose it. Let's expose everything. Now everything is being exposed. Before, back in the day, there was nothing being exposed. What you seen on TV, it was just a non-fictional type thing that was happening. And everything was so innocent. Everything was so perfect. Everything was the best. And now we are in an age that everything is just, it's happening so fast. That's why tracking systems on our kids' phone should be put in place. Cell phone are equipped with that option. Oh, thank you. That's a good one. People, if your children do have cell phones, that, I think I have an issue with that myself. I don't think that a kid should have a cell phone to a certain age. But, I remember my mother was like, you got to get a cell phone when you're 16 years old. And, now it's like your kid at 12 years old needs a cell phone. And now it's getting to the point where I see 8-year-olds have cell phones, So I'm kind of little. I don't have children, so I can't really opinionate too much on this. But, I do have nephews and nieces that, they do have cell phones themselves. But we need to know what's happening in their cell phones and have tracking device, that's equipped within our cell phones. Keep track of where your child is at all times. If your child is actually where it's supposed to be at, if it's in school, then in school it should be at, it should be at school. So if it's at the little friend's house, having a girls' day over there, you should know that your child is over there. You should be aware of where your child is at all times, you know, and still making sure, making phone calls. Hey, is everything okay? You okay? You ate? You know, stop leaving the rest for the other person to take care of your business when you should be taking care of your own business and making sure that your child is okay. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, we can send our kids to someone's house, but we're not even aware if that person is a safe person to have your child around. You know what I mean? So, whoo, I'm talking so damn much that my mouth is drying up. But you know, this is like I said, was one of my important topics. You know, I seen growing up to some of the things that was happening, and you know, especially when we lived in Massachusetts. You know how, you know, we experienced someone getting kidnapped and out of a supermarket. You know, so it is crazy. You know, growing up, seeing something like that, and then being in the time of age that we're in now, and things are now happening in the blink of an eye, you know, of an eye, right in front of you. It's happening so quickly. It's happening so boom. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, please educate your children. You know, educate yourself. You know, get to know what's actually happening in your community. Get to know what's happening across the world, across the nation, across the United States. You know, be aware of those things. Try not to, you know, be optimistic and open-minded. Excuse me. Open-minded to the possibilities of everything that's happening and the world right now. You know, because it's not just only here in America, it's happening everywhere. You know, missing children is happening everywhere. People are adopting kids, and not just only kids, it's being adopted, adults are being adopted too. So at the end of the day, you know, we need to start educating ourselves, start getting on the ball game, and start keeping track of our children and where they're at all times, and know that, you know, and you don't even have to let your kid know that you actually are tracking them. That's the fun part about it, because they go about their day, and guess what, you're tracking them. Like, oh, my baby going to school. Whoa, where you going? You just cut in school like that? You know, because it happens. We were all kids, we were all there, you know, at the same time. So hello everyone. I know so many people is coming in. I love you guys. Thank you for your greatest support. Welcome to Open Conversation live on Instagram and on Facebook. You know, I think this is the most I've talked, I think. No, I'm only kidding. I know I've talked so damn much. There's so much in me to talk about. You know, and I'm thankful for everyone that continues, you know, to be on my live show, that continues to show their support. You know, that just means a lot to me. And the more I do, the more I give, and the more you give back to me, you know, it just makes me want to continue. You know, this is fun. You know, it makes me excited when I'm here talking. You know, not just only educating myself, but educating others, opening up doors to different possibilities. You know, we don't have to be afraid. We need to come together as a community, have some sense of hope and belief that things are going to get better if we start making the changes now. If we start doing what we need to do as of now, making those changes for better, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you want to be aware of who are your neighbors. You want to be aware of who's downstairs. You want to be aware of who's at that store. You want to be aware of everything that's happening. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. You know, we need to be aware at all times of what's happening, you know, and a lot of us, we sometimes are not aware of what's happening in our surroundings. We close-minded. We want to close things, you know, from TV and from social media and be closed-minded about it. No, we need to open up and be able to have understandings that, you know, these are the things that's happening. When is an appropriate time to start discussing about it? You know, because I think that your kids are going to get older and they're going to start questioning. People are going to start questioning. Not just only people. Your kids are going to start questioning about certain things that's happening. And remember, like I said, you know, kids go to school. People are gonna talk about it. It's gonna be heard in the radio, on the TV, in the social media. Especially if your kids have social media. Come on, it's out. Everything is out in the public. You know, this is not something that we know from yesterday. This is something that we are aware of every day. You know, so people need to now start waking up and start smelling the coffee, because I'm telling you this right now, you don't start making a difference within your family and within your lives and within your communities. I can guarantee you that the world that we live in right now is not going to be the world that we are in now, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get really bad out here. It's going to get to the point where government is just going to be shutting things down. And guess what? Your kids is just going to be lost in the world. You know, the society itself, you know, the community itself feels so cold. You know, people don't feel like the love when I was growing up, that you went outside and people greeted you. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, how are you? Now everything sounds dead. Everywhere you go, everything sounds dead. Why you think things continue to happen? Because people are not aware of what's happening. They don't care. They're not responsive to any of those things that's happening in this world. You know? And as you're not being responsive, well, guess what? Things are gonna continue to happen. You know, I know I have another topic that's coming through soon, and it's domestic violence for a lot of my females and friends, you know, that I have, you know, met across the years. You know, this is a great topic, and I know some of my family has went through this, you know, with domestic violence. You know, this is a great topic too that I love and I adore, because, you know, and it is something very emotional that I have an attachment to, you know, so I am going to be talking about that very soon. Yes. You know, you talking about sex offender apps are a great tool. I use them. Wow, my baby was smaller. That's a great idea. You know, people start using sex offenders. Check who's in your area. Be aware of your neighbors and everyone that's around you, you know, because you don't even know that you could have someone downstairs living from you and it could be a predator, you know? You know, so at the end of the day, thank you, Maria, for that great info. You know, people, you know, this is not something that we know now. We known this a long time ago. You know, are you being aware of it now? No, you shouldn't be aware of it now. You should have been aware of it way before, ahead of time, you know? So wake up and smell the coffee, people. Things is happening. And it's going to continue to happen if we don't start making the difference in our world. If we don't start making the difference in our own lives. If we don't start making the difference in our own communities, in our own families. You know? Mental difficulties, cycles. You know, we can't always blame everything on the mental difficulty cycles. Because at the end of the day, you know, we should be educating ourselves and educating our children of things that can possibly happen. You know, and these are things that, yes, we need to be aware of mental people that have a mental disorder. We need to be aware of those things because of the simple fact that you want to know if something happens, you know, you are ready, you know, and equipped to attack and do what you need to do, you know, physically or mentally or, you know, whatever it will take for it to happen, you know. So, oh, wow. Anyone has any questions so far? If you have any questions, I'll be gladly to answer those questions, you know, so do not hesitate to ask those questions. Sorry, Facebook, you know, I love you guys. Unfortunately, you're able to see me and I'm not able to see you, so there is a disconnect that we have right now today. But, you know, I promise you guys, I will be connected to you guys next week as well. You know, we will be able to talk so much of these new topics that's coming out for the next couple weeks. You know, there is going to be a little break in between sometime, you know, because of the simple fact that, you know, I need to come up with new topics and I can't run this through, you know, so it's going to be interesting. I'll be off for 1 week, no time soon, but I'll be working that in the next couple weeks, so just to get new topics and start setting things up for the next part of my show. I know that I spoke to as well about coming out with my late night explicit show. I'm actually excited. I will be coming out with that soon. That will be coming out hopefully next month. I'm working on that project right now. It is still going to be under the live open conversation. But it is going to be an explicit. You know, this is going to be a show, a late night show for grown folks. You know, so if you have kids, you know, please do not have your kids watch me on your live show. Because I'm telling you this right now, anything can happen. And I don't want to speak because I do have younger kids that are looking up to me. And I don't want to speak too much in regards of some of the stuff that can be explicit, you know, on the live show. So, you know, I know that you guys know what I'm talking about. So, you know, you guys been asking for this. Well, guess what? I will be coming out with an explicit show for next month. I will be promoting that too. That could be like a Friday night. You know, it's going to be a very late night show. So it's not something that's going to be at 10 o'clock at night. No, it's going to be late night. You know, where you want to get cozy in your bed with your hubby or with your wife, have some wine, you know, because this is going to talk about a little bit of what happens in the bedroom, okay? So I know everybody's been talking about this, you know, so I am going to be coming out with this live show that's explicit, you know, and maybe we could educate and, you know, come together and teach other people how to do things, you know, so, you know, and what to do to spice up their relationships, you know, so, any questions so far? No questions. Okay. I know that us as parents, you know, I say me as a parent because, you know, I still do what I call Theo duties, you know, and I may not do much, but I do have Theo duties, you know, picking up the kids sometimes from school, you know, sometimes doing homework or babysitting or, you know, taking them out to eat or doing things with them. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna say a co-parent to my siblings, helping them out. I'm not saying that I help them a lot because, you know, I don't, you know, because I have my own life. But when I do help my brother and sister with their children. You know, we need to be aware of what's happening, you know, because at the end of the day, there's so much that's going on, you know. Every day there's a missing child. Every day there's an abduction that's happening. Every day there is a kidnap that's happening, you know, and we need to be aware of what's taking place in our world, in our communities and around us, you know, because I know a lot of people has kids and a lot of people have nephews and nieces, you know. You need to find some common grounds with your families, you know. Stop the fights and arguments, you know. Everything is not a battle, everything is not an argument, you know. Try to come down to conclusions to be able to help each other and one another and being able to be the best people that you can and role models for your kids and nieces and nephews and everybody else's kids around you, you know. So let's talk about positiveness for those who need support, the ones who want to achieve goals. Well, you know, everybody's trying to achieve a goal, you know, and we as people need to eliminate those things that are affecting us every day in our lives. We need to eliminate those that is not important to us, that's draining us, that's taking away from us. You know, we need to eliminate those things, you know, in order to live a positive life and live a successful life. And to achieve those goals, you need to eliminate those that are trying to bring you down. You know, because a lot of us sometimes have people, you know, that I feel like they work with the devil. because of the simple fact of how cruel and how ignorant and, how horrible of people they are. So at the end of the day, we as people need to make the difference in our own lives. We can commentate, we can talk about this and talk about that, but you know, everything is based on ourselves, individual. Next live episode. Yes, I actually do have a live a topic for that. That'll be coming out. But like I said, you can send me, text me your requests of topics. I'm happy to speak about this. I'm happy for you to even be on my live show if you're willing to be on my live show as well. The more the merrier. The more that comes on my live show, the better it is. The better we become. We become as a unit. We start working together. We start opening up, start talking about the things that has happened. I do have a great topic that's gonna be coming out too, about rape and all that. About rape. I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Consistency plans should be in place with our kids, such as checking in, knowing where they are at, and hold our kids accountable. I completely 100% agree with you on that. Like there's no tomorrow. You have to hold your kids accountable for anything and everything of their own actions, because if you don't, then what happens is that when they start getting older and they're not being held accountable, then they're gonna take it as like if it's a joke, and it's not a joke. It's not. As parents, I know that my parents used to hold me accountable for my wrongdoings and the things that I was not supposed to be doing, but I was held accountable. And I turned out to be a pretty darn good person. I'm not saying that I'm here to hurt anyone, but to help those that's needing help and to make a difference in somebody's life. I know a lot of people here too, sometimes say, I'm looking for a 15-minute of fame. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not looking for no type of fame. Something in my heart has me here. Something continues to drive me to do this live show. There's so many people that's right now being hurt of what's taking place in our world, and unfortunately is we're not letting ourselves to be aware of it. Give me a second. Yes, unfortunately nowadays a lot of parents are more concerned about the next hangout spot than their own kids. That's the problem. People wanna drink, they wanna smoke, they wanna do drugs, they worry about where they're gonna be at, where they're gonna chill at, well who they're gonna chill with, and they're not even worried about their children. They're not worry about if their kids ate, they did homework, if they went to school, they went to sleep. If you gotta be a parent. It's okay to have a little fun, but knowing when it's right to do it. Because and at least and are aware of your children whereabouts. If you have a babysitter coming to your home, you should be aware of those things. So I think. So yes, we need to hold our children accountable for it. Know exactly where they at. It doesn't matter. They live in your roof. It's under your rules at the end of the day. And if they think they're gonna have a better life moving out, so put them out and let's see what happens. Because kids nowadays think that they know everything, they are aware of everything, and in reality, they don't even know how to clean their own little behinds. Big Spanish. I completely agree with her too. Parents are not concerned anymore of their kids anymore. They're more concerned of what's gonna be the next hangout spot for them, and it's sad. Yes, I am far from a perfect parent, but you bet your ass he gets a beating if grades are low and or he misbehaves. This kid came out last week with Catch Me Outside. Oh wow, interesting. So what I did, I told him let's go cause I will beat your ass. I mean, I completely, I'm not saying to abuse or to, to beat the living crap out of your children, but I do believe that, kids needs a little butt whooping, so kids really do need a little butt whooping, from time to time, and let them know that, you are the parent. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So yes, I know. Completely understand and agree with you. If you need to beat, I mean not beat, excuse me. It was gonna be a joke about it. Yes, don't leave no marks because the schools and everyone else is gonna call you a bad parent because you left bruises and how you call it, black and blues and everything, scars all over their bodies in regards of their butt whooping that you gave them with the chancleta, and I bet it wasn't even nothing. It was one of those cheapy choppy Walmart chancletas that cost $1 that didn't even hardly do anything to them. But I am aware that kids should, have a little know where the parent relationship is at, because at the end of the day, you are the parent. You should be educating yourself. You should be aware of where your children is whereabouts. If they at a park, if they at a friend's house, if they at the mall, if they at the movies, you need to be aware and you need to be a parent and always know what's happening around there, because you need to know what kind of event, what's happening at the mall today that you need to be aware of. So he knows that worked for me. It will work for him. Best part is to know that when I'm not around, I get compliments on how he behaves. Hello, because you're whipping that behind. He's so damn scared and terrified of you that he's like, hell no, I ain't messing with this big old woman. So uh, oh man. Let me tell you something. Growing up, yeah, my mother used to beat us up. I gotta say beat us up because we looked like men growing up. So it looked like she needed to beat us up. And people would be like, oh my God, your kids are so wonderful and well behaved. And my mother used to be like, ni te pares de ahí. Y no toques nada. I was like, oh my God, terrified. This lady will kill me. And even to this day, I am terrified of my mother. I'm like, hell no, I ain't messing with that lady. Forget about that. Everything that my mother could get her hands on, she was able to get her hands on. Let me tell you something. That's what we was gonna get our whooping with. So, but we wasn't abducted. We wasn't missing. We wasn't kidnapped by anybody because we were trained to be able to kick butts out in the street. If someone came to do something, we were equipped to attack them real quick. Too many parents are concerned with being friends with their kids, but that's why you need to know the whereabouts to your kids. Too much freedoms are given. That is true. Parents need to stop trying to be a friend and start being a parent. And that's where your problems always starts at. That parents be like, I don't want to do what my parents did to me when I was a kid. I don't want to do the same thing to them. Well, sometimes, guess what, sweetheart? Not every kid is the same exact kid. Every kid is different. And at the end of the day, you need to separate yourselves from being parents and being a friend. It's okay to be a friend, but always know that you are a parent first. Because being a friend is gaining that trust from your child, gaining that, that you are there for them, So the minute that you take that away from them, that's when things just starts happening all over the place. So yeah, parents need to know where the whereabouts of their children. Stop being friends. Have a certain limit of your friendship with your child, because your kid ain't gonna come up to tell you, "Yo, ma, I'm gonna put a bullet in your head." What? What you just said? Like, my mother would break my mouth, if I was to say some crazy shit like that to her. Like, So at the end of the day, parents, I'm not here to judge on how you educate your children, but please, educate your children and be aware, be known to where your kids is at. Be concerned. Start asking questions. That's why you are a parent. You can do that. That's the best part of being a parent. You ask the questions that they don't like to answer, but guess what? They're gonna need to give you an answer, whether it's now or later. They're gonna give it to you, because the kids think if they are friends, they don't have the respect anymore. Parents need to grow up. And that's in every parent. Parents needs to grow up and stop worrying about the respect, because at the end of the day, you can have a mutual relationship, of respect with your child, and not, you should know where you need to be at. Know that you are a parent and they are the child. They live by your rules. You don't live by theirs. And so I completely understand that some people do have this thing where they're worried about having respect for their kids. You already have respect for them. Yes, that is true. Sorry for the pause. That is true. There's a fine line, and you better trend lightly or tread lightly, something like that. I don't know if I said that right. Tread lightly. But I think we know what we're discussing here. There's common grounds for all these things. And at this day, I respect my mother like there's no tomorrow. Like, I may joke around with my siblings in regards of certain things, but that's just because we're just siblings. But to tell her something like that, just out of being spiteful or being mad at her, that's something that won't come out of me, because it's the respect that she created in me, that she implanted in me. One way or another, I was going to respect my adults and elderly people. I was going to be yes ma'am, no ma'am, no sir, yes sir. It was with respect and morals. A lot of people don't have no morals no more. People don't have no values. They don't have no sense of values anymore. So it becomes a very difficult situation here. So. Whew. Welcome to those that just walked in into Open Conversation with your host, Antonio. It's a pleasure to have you here. We are talking about missing children, abduction, and kidnap. It's been a very wonderful topic. We are... these things wouldn't be happening if we were aware of where our whereabouts is, with our kids is at. So at the end of the day, know, track, ask questions, do what you need to do as a parent to make sure that your kid is safe and sound wherever they at, with whoever they at. And parents too, start. When your son or your daughter comes to you and asks you, "Oh, mom, I'm gonna go to my friend's house," no, that doesn't work like that. Tell your friend and his mother or her mother or father or whatever to come here, to meet them. Because let me tell you something, I'm gonna be one of those parents. I'm gonna be rolling up at my where my child is at. Like, excuse me, is my child here? Like, and who are you? You're the mother? Okay. It's a pleasure to meet you, I would like to know, who you are, what you all about, and why my kid wants to be here. Because at the end of the day, I need to know, the meanings behind this, of why my child wants to be in this location, or, with their friend or whatever. Get to know their parents, your kids' friends' parents, you know other parents, get to know them, interact with them, be aware that their kid could come to your home, and be aware that your kid could come to their home. So at the end of the day, you guys have common grounds and common respect, that they be like, hey, so and so, your son, he's here with no problems, okay, pick them up from school, that you don't go crazy like a chicken with no head, because at the end of the day, that's another thing too, that's lacking. I remember going to school, and one parent will pick up all the kids from the neighborhood, and now you don't even see that. You don't see no parents picking up nobody's kids, everybody to each to their own. You pick up your own kid and your own child, that's it, and it's sad, that we're not working as humans, with love and respect and care. But it's honestly so much that's happening in this world that some people just be like, why would I want to give that? Why would I want to do that? Why, and so many whys and whys and whys that people don't feel cold hearted now. So it's just crazy. It's just sincerely crazy. And the amount of people that's being missing every day is incredible. Every day, that's 800,000 a year that's being missed. That's a lot of people being missed in a year. That's almost 1 million people being missed. And people are not making it any different. So know where your kids is at, know what's happening, be aware, so it's crazy. I'm sometimes mind blown by some of the stuff that I see every day with families, with friends, with just in general. It's just crazy with some of the stuff that I see. But it is what it is, and that's why I'm here with my live show, trying to educate and trying to give some sort of hope in somebody's heart, and give them back that rhythm that we needed, that we had back in the day, like toma, but it's just crazy sometimes of what I see, and every day I see on social media, there's kids being missed. Please repost, please repost, please repost. You can repost this but so much, and no offense to those that have someone that's missing, but you can repost this but so much, and you don't even know if this person is really going to come back, and if your child is 12, 13, 14 years old, they should have already a cell phone. You need to keep track of that cell phone and know where that person is at, so if something was to happen, you can track them, and know where they're about. And things wouldn't be happening, and at least you would know what to do and what would be the next step to take, to be able to, resolve the issue that you are encountering at the time. I'm not wishing this on nobody, but it is what it is, so, people need to start educating themselves and educating their children. I know last week I talked about, once again, about gun laws and gun controls. People need to start educating their children. They're going to get to a certain age. I think that it's time for them to start learning and start being aware of these things. I know a lot of people and a lot of parents are not up for it, but, you need to start being aware of it, because guess what? The world is going to get worse if you don't start making a difference in your own home, in your own community, and your own background, backyard. So you have to start making things more interesting for you and your family and your friends and your society itself. So I'm mindless with some of the stuff that I see when it comes down to these things. My time is coming up. I do have a minute left. I am thankful once again to have all of you beautiful people on my live show, Open Conversation. you guys continue to support me, continue to be part of this conversation. The more we talk, the more we open up, the more we're able to solve some of the things that we need to solve. Some parents need to listen to some of these conversations that we have. I know my live show is not made for everybody, but it's made for somebody. So I respect everyone, I admire everyone, and I love everyone. And at this point, I'm thankful for everything and the greatest opportunities that not only God has given me, but you guys have given me as well. So I love that shit, by the way. Thank you, honey. I love you guys. Next week, I'll be coming out with new topics. Stay tuned. I won't do what I did this week, so I'll be posting up something already by tomorrow. Thank you. Love you guys.